So what we're going to do is go over one way to tie off a chest tube and secure it. This is only one method. There's many different methods, but I thought I'd go over one method to spark some conversation and see if this is how most people do it or what some of the other techniques are. Please go ahead and email me back your own special tricks or methods so I can pass that along. But here's one method. So here we got our chest tube, which some high-tech equipment here. We got a straw and here's our laceration, and I'm just going to use this nylon, but usually I use silk. So one method, what I usually do is I start off by tying a stay suture, and what that means is I go near the tube, come through, and just grab it like this, and then tie that off around my tube to secure it. So I can cut off my needle at this point. So I tie this like a normal square knot. So we tie that off, and then what I'll do is wrap this round and round my tube. This is again my stay suture. And I wrap it round and round right near the skin. And the idea is eventually you want to kind of indent that tube. And then I'll throw a regular, again, square knot. Just go around 3 times since this is a little slippery. Try and indent my tube a little bit. And then tie it off like I normally would. Make some good knots here. And that is supposed to help hold my tube in place. We'll cut off the ends, and we'll cut these ends short. I'll take my next stitch, and now this one I'll use to help close the skin, and this is also the stitch that can be used when the chest tube is pulled. Someone can cinch down and close the skin at the same time. So here again is our laceration. So now I'm going to do a horizontal mattress stitch. So I'm going to go through, just grab it with my scissors, come around my tube, regrip, go through on the other side, and there you see my horizontal mattress. I'll go ahead and cut off the end of this needle also. And then what I can do is, see, if I pull that, that'll pull my wound together. And the idea here is that I don't want to tie it off tightly with a square knot. Instead, what I'll do is I'll do a triple throw, through there, cinch that down. That kind of pulls the wound together. And then I'll take these ends, I'll also wrap them around the tube like this. And then I can throw a triple throw through here, for example. Cinch that down. And I could tie this now in a bow, so that when I tie it in a bow, everyone will know that that is the stitch that can be untied. This can be pulled out, and when this is pulled out, all I have to do is cinch this down as someone pulls out the tube, and it'll close the skin at the same time. So that's why I like to tie this in a little bow, and then you leave your ends long at that point. So we're going to do that here with these little slippery nylon stitches. Okay, so everyone knows that's the stitch that you pull. Someone pulls it and you cinch it down. You can also tie this in a square knot, but the thing is, if you do that, you still want to leave the ends long, and then you might make sure you wrap it around enough that if once they cut that stitch, there's enough to grab to cinch it down. So those are a couple methods of doing that. So then someone pulls it out, cinch it down. So then the last thing is some dressings that you need to put over it. So we take our Zero form, to make sure we get a nice seal around it. And lots of different kind of ways of doing this. I just kind of wrap it around my tube and cinch it down to the skin. Try and make a nice seal against that wound. And then I take my gauze. I like to cut a little Y in them so that it can go around my tube nicely, like that. And then I take my stretchy tape and put it down around the tube to secure it. The other thing I like to do is take a little piece of tape, wrap it around the tube, and secure that piece to the skin so that if someone pulls on the tube, they just pull on that little part that's attached to the skin, just like with a central line, rather than pulling out the whole tube. Alright, and you can see even with that little stitch on this slippery straw, it holds it pretty good. That stay suture does. Alright, so that's one method of tying off a chest tube. Go ahead and email me back your own tricks and methods, and we can share that around with the other staff. Thank you very much.